spontaneous road trips, all within the Fort Hood legal limit, might I add. And no matter what though, we always had a good time. And to all my imagery analysts in here, especially First Platoon, we all could probably tell a funny story about Specialist Moore in some capacity in one way or another. And that's the kind of person that he was. He was always full of energy, and he always left a lasting impression. A kind of lasting impression that earned us several nicknames from our higher-ups, including our most notable one, the Sour Patch Kids, which if you guys see Chief Brady in here today, you can thank him for that. It was also supported by our then task force commander at the time, Colonel Hinsdale, who also graced us with his presence in Florida at his memorial service there as well. And we got that name because there wasn't a day that went by where either myself, Sergeant Mick, or Glenn wasn't irritated about something. But don't let that overshadow the kind of person that Moore or any of us else were. Rarely would anybody beat him to be the first at work, both here and downrange. He became one of the most reliable FMB analysts and sensor operators I had ever worked with. Flew over 300 plus combat hours, was a certified flight instructor, and earned an air medal and an aircrew badge for his efforts downrange. It's not an easy task for any imagery analyst, and we can all attest to that. So as I stand here today, let us remember the Specialist Moore that we all knew. A great soldier and a great friend. You will be missed, but your memory lives on in every single one of us. And from all of us in First Platoon, we say, let it ride.
I invite you to turn to the back of your bulletins as you follow along with me quietly as I read aloud Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Why are we here? I can only imagine what is going through your minds as you think of your answers. You might be thinking of two words, such as, really? Seriously? The obvious answer would seem to be a funeral. It could seem obvious that we are here to say our final goodbyes. In which case, I would gladly tell you that that idea is wrong. We are not at a funeral. We are at a memorial ceremony. Now, there are two things that happen at a memorial. One part is to remember or memorialize a soldier. The other is to pay final honors or respects. The first part of this ceremony is about remembering Glenn Moore. In this ceremony, you might say that we are keeping him alive, just in a different way. While he is physically gone, he continues to live in your hearts. Now, I'm not saying this just to make you try to feel better. I say this because it is true. You have been touched by him. Glenn has influenced you in some way or another. He made you mad sometimes. Maybe he made you cry. As we have just experienced, maybe he helped you laugh your heads off. As we have just heard from two of his brother soldiers, you know he touched many hearts in many different ways. And the truth is, he touched you in a very special way, each one of you. While he is not physically here, he lives on in each of you. Glenn lives through your laughs, your smiles, through tears, frustrations, sometimes even anger. While you mourn his absence, celebrate his life. A thought to keep thinking about. He lives in and through each one of you. This is why you are here. To keep him burned in your heart and mind. Physically, he is gone. But as long as you remember in your own special way, Glenn continues to live. Again, not only do we remember him, we are also here to pay final respects and honors to Specialist Glenn Moore of 1st Platoon, Delta Company, Task Force Odin. Specialist Moore was a soldier who wore the same uniform you wear, that of a soldier in the United States Army. He raised his right hand and swore the same oath that you did. He deployed with many of you and served his country honorably. From what I have just heard, he was a great soldier and took his duties very seriously. In that way, Specialist Moore taught each of you something about Task Force Odin, the Army, and maybe the military in general. You may not realize it right now, but later today, maybe next year, you will remember something he said or did and know he taught you a lesson. In a few moments, we as soldiers will stand at attention in front of the fallen soldier memorial stand and salute him. You'll give him the respect that every good soldier deserves. Yes, Specialist Glenn Moore is no longer with us, but don't let him die. Let him live on in your memories and military lessons learned. We now take